Hey guys, my name is Malika McCoy, and today my persuasive speech is going to be about we shouldn't exploit prisoners for free work. So let's get started. Statistics show that there are approximately 2 billion people currently incarcerated in the prison system, which is coincidentally a $74 billion industry as well. Of that $74 billion, the wages in which are being given to prisoners for their labor range from 23 cents to $1.15 per hour. The math sounds a tad bit off, doesn't it? Well, follow me as I give you my perspective on the prison system. I highly believe that prisoners should be treated as humans and not exploited for free labor in prison. Imagine being locked down in your cell for hours without seeing much of the sun or even something small as hearing the birds chirp. Knowing that you are forced to work for little to nothing inside of a place in which is meant to rehabilitate you, how well would that sit with you? We have prisoners working their fingers to the bone and aren't being compensated for it, which is what is leading to the mental turmoil inside of the prison. According to Newsweek.com, approximately 62,000 workers at government-run facilities participate in correctional industry programs, which means that while inmates are working these manufacturers, goods are being sold to other state agencies and oftentimes even nonprofits. These are just points to mention as we gain more insight as to what else seems to be happening within the prison rehabilitation system. Our main issue stems from inmates having to work for hardly a full dollar, and the only ones reaping over 75% of the benefits seem to be other institutions. According to psmag.com, about half of the American citizens that are in prison work full-time while they are serving time. In addition to working full-time, the prisoners aren't counted in the standard labor survey. Let us not forget that the U.S. had the highest incarceration rate in the world. Despite the fact that we have discovered the harsh reality of how prisoners are being treated, let's figure out a solution. The solution to the problem starts with an understanding the structure of our prison system and coming together to make necessary changes. Unity has always been the number one factor in creating change. In order for us to see a better prison system, we must speak up and voice our beliefs. I highly believe majority of the violence happening inside of prison stems from the lack of compensation to work in such a harsh environment by us. The more that people speak out against prisoners being exploited for labor will be the more spotlight in which such an issue will receive. Famous newshead BBC.com/news recently reported U.S. inmates nationwide have gone on strike to protest modern slavery. The 2-week-long strike was set in place to protest the harsh jail conditions and the huge wage gap in which prisoners were laboring. Such an act will bring light to the social injustice prisoners are withstanding. It all starts with us taking a stance. Based on the research that I have gathered, there's only a matter of time before that pot boils over. Year by year, prisoners and citizens of our country rally up to protest against the unfair wages and prison labor laws. Things may not change overnight. However, I guarantee that as time goes on, we will bring more awareness to things. The protest and going on strike shows that as a nation, we are disgruntled by such behavior and refuse to tolerate it. For that reason, change will soon be upon us. Let me paint a picture of what change can look like. With an increase of wages, imagine the death toll within prisons decreasing. According to the prestigious news site WashingtonPost.com, every year approximately 4,400 inmates die within prison. Whether it be a violent death or natural causes, we are losing people by the thousands every year. I'd say majority of these deaths are violent deaths, along with causes ranging from sickness, living in such cruel conditions. With such an impoverished pay wage, many inmates are capable of making purchases on items that may aid to their survival. Right now, you have the choice of taking a stance against change. Will we sit back and continue to allow the government to take advantage of prisoners seeking rehabilitation? Taking a stance means writing letters to the prisons and government as a whole. By us taking action, this can show lawmakers how severely serious this issue is and also how much we are requesting change. We have noticed small changes within prisons as time has gone. According to StandTogether.org, the San Quentin State Prison has launched a program called The Last Mile, which aim its focus on assisting inmates in developing a trade to ensure an easier transition once they are released free from incarceration. With this act in place, inmates serving time have not only found jobs quicker upon release, but have also been given the opportunity to even make wages as high as $16.79 per hour while serving time. Despite the amount of protests, rallies, and petitions that we project every year, there is still more change that still needs to be asserted. In due time, I strongly believe that we will get the change that we're looking for, but we must remain consistent. Prisoners every year are being exploited in return for free or little to nothing labor compensation. We are in a state of seeking change, and in order to find that change, we must continue to dig deep on where the root of all problems lie. Why are prisoners not being compensated more for their labor? I mean, just imagine equality for all. Imagine a world where, despite crime, we are compensated fairly for our acts of labor. Statistics show that there are approximately 2 billion people currently incarcerated in that prison system. And of that 2 billion people, we need to work in unison to aid to the prisoners that aren't able to earn a living while serving their time inside of a state prison. Change is certainly upon us. This is our call to action. And that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed.